Hi, I'm the Mitten, and you're listening to the Mitten on Knittin. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to episode 7 of the Mitten on Knittin. There's 141 days to Rhinebeck, so let's see what I've been up to. In loose threads this week, exciting news, the tickets went on sale for Rhinebeck. So if you're looking to get your tickets in advance, which is always pretty good, get you through the gate quickly, you can go ahead and buy them online now. So hop on over to the sheepandwool.com site and pick up your tickets. It'll guarantee that you go. Once you have the tickets, there's no excuse. No, I didn't get mine yet. But I'm going to. I really am. I do buy my tickets in advance online. I just find it a lot easier, and it does guarantee me that I will be going. So I recommend you do the same. So that's really it for loose threads. What's fit in the mitten this week? Well, this week it was more socks. But I seem to have lost a pair because I had the brown ones with the alternating color on the toe and the heel, and I can't find them anywhere. I asked the dogs where they were, I asked Mr. Mitten where they were, and no one fessed up to tell me where they ended up, and I really don't understand how this pair of socks could have possibly disappeared, because my socks are in one of three places. They're either on my feet, in the pile to be washed, or in the on the drying rack. And that's, well, okay, after they come off of the drying rack, they're in the clean pile, so 4 places. But I just don't know where these socks could have ended up. They could be anywhere, but I really like those socks. It's a special skein of yarn that I got at Rhinebeck a couple years back. It's made by Dyer. Her sister passed away from cancer, and every year she makes a sock yarn kit, a sock kit, and the proceeds go to cancer research in memory of her sister. So I really like, picking those up. I think it's the sweetest thing that she could do to honor her sister's memory. And I just don't know where the socks are, but I shall find them. The other thing that was exciting was, instead of just wearing my sweater as a keep me warm under my coat sweater, I actually got to wear it as a keep me from getting chilled outside without a coat. The first time that we did not need coats outside this week, and so I was out walking in one of my friend's gardens, and just enjoying the evening and the primroses and forget-me-nots, and it was a beautiful night and perfect weather for the Rhinebeck sweater. So that's what's been fit in the mitten. So what have I been knitting this week? Well, I spent the entire week knitting the Rhinebeck scarf, and I caught a huge break. Compliments of exploding propane tanks underneath the railroad tracks down in the city. It caused me to have a 9-hour commute, 4 hours one way, 5 hours to work, 4 hours home. And I knitted and knitted and knitted the entire time on that Rhinebeck scarf, which was fantastic. And, well, I guess it was fantastic for the knitting portion of it, considering that I didn't know that there was a problem with the commute until I actually arrived at the station. I knitted in the truck, and then I knitted on train number 1, and then I knitted on train number 2, and bus number 1, 2, and 3, and the taxi to get me to the office. It was a multiple usage commute way into work, I guess. But anyway, I got a lot done, which was fantastic. And on the way home, I was smart enough to pick up dinner to eat on the train. So I had a lovely, delicious dinner and sat there and knit for hours and hours. Once I ended up getting a seat because it was standing room only for a while. And it was just nice and very relaxing, if not exhausting. So a lot of work got done on the Rhinebeck scarf. So much work that I finished! Yes, the scarf has been completely knitted and the ends have been woven in. It is sitting waiting for its spa bath and blocking, which should happen next week. I did end up doing the Icelandic cast off because that type of cast off gives a better blend into a garter edge, which is what this scarf has. All the way around as a border is a garter stitch. So I wanted something that would blend and look very nice with the garter stitch border, and the Icelandic cast off does that. So what you do is with all the stitches on the needle, you put the needle in purlwise, and you pick up the second stitch from the needle, and you slide it on, and you knit it off through the first stitch, and then you put it back on the needle. So all the stitches are on the needle, and then put the empty needle in through the stitch purlwise, picking up the second stitch and bringing it through the loop of the first stitch, and then knitting it, and then continue on and on and on until you've totally cast off. So that's the cast off that I use. It's a bit stretchy, which matches the garter stitch itself, and it's got that nice row of bumps that you get on a purl stitch. So it looks really good, and it blends in visually really well. I'm quite pleased with the sweater. I ended up doing 10 sections for it, and I think the scarf came out very lovely. So now my needles are free and I have no more excuses. I have to pick my sweater. God help me. I have not decided on what sweater to pick. I think I have it narrowed down, but I need to make a decision. I need to make a decision. And I thought I had a decision made, and then I changed my mind. So that will be goal for the week. Pick the sweater, make the swatch, and that's what I've been knitting this week. What's on the wheel this week? Well, I found a little extra merino, the cream that matches the scarf, and I really thought when I had practically an entire day of knitting on public transportation that I was going to run out of yarn for the scarf. So I popped in a bobbin and started spinning it, and I got almost all of it done, and I will finish it off, but I discovered, much to my joy and happiness, that I will not be needing it for the scarf. Maybe I'll make Mr. Mitten a pair of mittens, and the scarf and the mittens can be his Christmas present or something. I don't know, but it will definitely turn into something, and I will finish it up. There's just absolutely no pressure to do so, and I'm so happy about that. So that's what I've been spinning. It was the only thing I spun this week because I really wanted to focus on the knitting, and I did. But it's all happy little merino just sitting on the spinning wheel, chilling out in the sunshine in front of the window. So that's what's on the wheel. What's finished this week? The scarf. The scarf is finished. Would it be really annoying if I sat here for 2 minutes and talked about the scarf being finished? Because the scarf's finished. Did I mention that the scarf's done? Because the scarf is totally done. I am so happy. I really had the debate of whether I should do 12 sections or 10 sections, but I tried it on, and 10 sections fits really nicely around the neck. I can do the wrap around the neck. It has a long enough drape that it can go under the coat and tuck in to get those little drafts that get through your buttonholes, or you could leave it outside the coat, or do an over-the-shoulder toss with it. The length was just right, and I felt very, very comfortable about binding it off when I did, and it's finished, and ready for spa and blocking. I am going to do a little bit of research on the blocking because I want it to be nicely square. I don't want it to be, it's not made by machines. It was made by my hands, so I don't want it to be, it doesn't have to be absolutely steel laser cut perfect angles kind of things. That's not what I'm looking for. I just want it to be nicely blocked, nice square and even, and the fabric to have a good drape once it comes out of it, and then I can put it in storage until Rhinebeck, 141 days, and I am done with the scarf being knit up and all the ends sewn in and ready for spa. I cannot tell you, well, yes I can. I am so thrilled. I am so thrilled about it. So, yay. The scarf's done. And now a word not from a sponsor. Periwinkle sheep yarn, lovingly hand-dyed in small batches. Visit the Periwinkle Sheep online at periwinklesheep.com to see the latest colors Karen has come up with, like Watercolors 2 Zitrone, or stop by and see her in person at the Massachusetts Sheep and Woolcraft Fair, May 28th and 29th in Cummington, Massachusetts. Periwinkle Sheep Yarn. It's to die for. You know, the color dye, not the other one, because that would be bad. In Stash Up Down this week, there was no Stash Up. Stash Down, of course, was I think it was around 650 yards of merino in the finished scarf, because did I mention that the scarf is finished? Because it's totally finished. Anyway, so that's the Stash Down, the merino, and like I said, I do have a bit more to spin on the wheel, but I am going to spin that up, so that'll be, that fiber will be coming off. I think I have probably about three more hours of spinning left on that, so I've been trying to do my 15 minutes at least of spinning a day, and so far I've made it. So let's see, 15, I'll probably have to spin a little bit extra on Saturday, but gosh, I don't think that'll be a huge issue for me. Oh, and long weekend coming up, that's good. So I'll have Saturday, Sunday, and a little extra time on Monday. I do have the Memorial Day service, of course. We can't forget the service that our veterans have given us. And a lot of my family is in the military, so it's a special day for me. And I do like the opportunity of being able to thank veterans in our community about that. It's not just because I'm on the town council. It's because I sincerely want to thank them. But it's a day off work, so I'll get a little extra spending time in the afternoon. So it's a win-win. So that's what's going on for Stash Up Down. Where I want to be? Well, it's still the Massachusetts Sheep and Woolcraft Fair, May 28th and 29th. My friend Karen from Periwinkle Sheep is going to be there, and she's going to have her lovely watercolors, sock yarns, watercolor 2, just all kinds of yarns. And I know that if you get the opportunity to go, you should absolutely go and stop by her booth and see her, because she has fantastic colors. Her metallic colors really have the heart of the colors of the metals, I believe. And I love knitting with the bases that she uses. But, anybody can go out there and get a base and dye it up. It really takes a lot of talent to do the kettle dyeing the way Karen does. It's very spectacular and very saturated. So if I had the opportunity, I would love to get out to Massachusetts and visit the fair and stop by her booth and see her there. And that's where I want to be on the 28th and 29th. Of course, it's not going to happen, but, it's where I want to be. In the meantime, I'll take the money I would have spent there and throw it into my Rhinebeck bucket, because you always need extra at Rhinebeck. This is something I've found out over the years. For Grabby Paws this week, stuff I want, but I'm probably not going to get, it's still sock yarn. I've still just been looking at tons and tons and tons of sock yarn. I got swept into the cashmere sock yarn rabbit hole this week and started looking for beautiful dyed bits of cashmere and nylon and wool. And unfortunately, I didn't find any cashmere colors that I really, really wanted, which means I just need to look harder. I'm just not looking hard enough. So I have to keep up the pursuit of cashmere sock yarns, because I keep hearing about how wonderful and comfortable and luscious it is to have just a bit. I mean, we're talking like 10% of the blend in cashmere when it's on your toes, and I think that sounds really fantastic. And cashmere is a very soft fiber, so I know based upon my silk and cashmere scarf that it would be fantastic. But I just couldn't find a color that suited me at this time. I think part of it might be because it's spring, and I'm still looking for those really bright colors. I think as spring fades into summer, my color tonality of the colors that I'm looking at will probably fade as well. That usually happens. And then, of course, by fall, I'm all about the oranges and the yellows and stuff. So, which I really think I have enough of those in my sock yarn stash. Sorry, there's no such thing as a stash in sock yarn. I take it back. But sock yarn, it's all about the sock yarn. In dough this week, last week I was chit-chatting with a friend and I was plying, and I ended up just letting the yarn, just the singles, just go into the spinning wheel onto the bobbin without actually putting any twist in, and I thought that was, really an extreme mistake until I got to this week. That's right. I was sitting there spinning the merino and watching TV, actually. I wasn't even talking to anybody, so it's not like I was too terribly distracted. And before you know it, I just had a bobbin full of unspun drafted roving, which was really spectacular trying to... I don't know why I didn't just break it, but I backed it all out through the orifice, which is, I'd say it's about a little over a half-inch wide circular opening on the wheel. So, and I did it without breaking the fiber, which was drafted out about 1/8 of an inch wide, and very thin, because I'm spinning the 2-ply. I wanted to match the 2-ply merino with the 2-ply merino that I already have in the scarf, which I finished. Did I mention that I finished the scarf? But anyway, that was my big dough for the week. I actually let the roving go into, well, it's comb top, it's not roving, but I let it go onto the bobbin unspun, which was, I just couldn't believe I did it. I mean, it's like 2 weeks in a row I didn't put twist into whatever was going on to the bobbin. I think maybe I need to focus a little bit more sometimes. Well, at least I fixed it. So, dough! Where I'll be this week? Well, aside from home and work and home, I will be at the Town Memorial Day service on next Monday in the center of our town at our Fountain Square Veterans War Memorial, and then I'll be down visiting the VFW post in our town. So if you're looking for me and you want to give me a chat while I'm out and about, that's where I'll be, the two public events that I'll be attending as councilwoman, but I'm always happy to chat about knitting and spinning. I was at a private event yesterday, and I did manage to get some knitting and spinning chit chat in. So there's always room for that. So that's where I'll be. And if you don't come out to see me, try and get out someplace in your local town, especially for Memorial Day, and thank a veteran for their service. In questions this week, Leanna asks, I'm a bit distressed as I currently do not have any socks on the needles. I was unaware of this knitting protocol. I have a sadly neglected hat, a shawl I am actively working on, and a little crochet doll that only sees the light of day when I'm waiting in the car for a child to finish a practice. What sock pattern would you recommend for me so that I may remedy my situation? I have several sock yarns that are lovely and sparkly blue, a self-striping, and a few hand-spun options. Well, Leanna, first, don't be distressed that you don't have any socks on the needles. This just means you will have socks on the needles. You're in the pre-cast-on stage of sock knitting. It's completely acceptable. The pattern to choose really depends on the yarn that you use. The fancier the yarn, the plainer the pattern. That way the yarn can show off, and of course vice versa, the fancier the pattern, the plainer the yarn. Also, it depends on your skill levels. There's pretty much the socks use pretty much all of the skills used in knitting, from plain stockinette to fancy laces, from flat knitting to advanced shaping. Socks are awesome because if you can knit them, you can knit anything. For a good top-down pattern, from cuff to toe, I like Sock Recipe, a good plain sock by herself. That's the yarn harlot, Stephanie Pearl McPhee. It's a really clear way to make socks and understand how to customize them for your feet so they fit like a glove. But probably don't want to wear them on your hands unless you're playing with sock puppets. Anyway, for a good toe-up pattern from toe to cuff, I like Brainless by Yarnissima. Also, it's very clear and it teaches you the concept of customization. Plus, it has an adorable little cable going up the side. If you're comfortable with making socks already, you can't go wrong with Hermione's Everyday Socks by Erica Luder. It's not just popular on Ravelry because of the Harry Potter tie-in. They're really, really comfortable and fun to knit. And of course, when you think sock, you must be thinking about Cookie A. Her designs are innovative and involve a little bit of thinking here and there. But what you'll be thinking is, why didn't I think of that? At the end of the day, I'm personally so happy with just a plain toe-up 2 at a time on Magic Loop pair of socks to knit. Unless, of course, they're the monster socks or my socks of many heels, because I've kind of been stuck on those lately. But I really do just like a bit of variegated, self-striped or self-patterning yarn and watching how it plays out as I knit up. Throwing in a contrasting heel and toe, I'm smiling at every stitch. If you go to our Ravelry thread, you can see my sock bundle and take a look at some of my favorite Ravelry patterns. For you, Leanna, I'm thinking sparkly blue blueberry waffle socks. Of course, now I want waffles. I hope this answers your question. And finally, this week, just so you know, we opened up a sock along or a short, depending upon what you like to knit, sock thread on the Ravelry page. And this was Kath's idea. She thought it would be a good thing so she could mock me with my monster socks and the sock with many heels. No, I'm just kidding. A good place for people to show off their socks, be they hand spun or commercial yarn. I thought so too. So stop by the thread and show us a picture of your socks. If you have any sock related question, put them up there and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Also, because contests are fun, but sometimes they can be a little stressful, because then, especially if you're, trying to finish something to win a contest, that can add stress to your life, and nobody needs that. So I had a contest that you didn't even know there was a contest on the sock thread. So I picked a random number out of the random number generator, and the winner was Kath. So Kath, there is a sock-related surprise winging its way to you as we speak, and I hope you enjoy it. And congratulations on winning the You Didn't Know There Was a Contest. So thanks for playing without playing, because, it was fun. Thanks for joining us this week. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.